Under the Heel of the Statue of Liberty, United States of America, 1937. This is a spring-loaded beauty mask from 1933. Debbie Harry, 1977. Everything But War, September 1941. Signed, Seaside, Oregon. A group of World War I soldiers are making a human Liberty Bell at Camp Dix in 1918. Henson and 4 Inuit, who were part of the North Pole expedition. It was 1909. A female Viet Cong soldier in 1972. Manfred von Richthofen, also known as the Red Baron, was the top ace of World War I, with 80 enemy aircraft shot down. A Dutch woman is entering military captivity with her husband, a German soldier, in 1944. A United States Marine Corps member is wearing a Pickelhaube helmet around 1884. They were hunting in Kilmessan County, Meath in 1900. Mariah Carey with LL Cool J at the 1997 MTV Video Music Awards. So, this is a photo from inside Hitler's bunker in Berlin, taken in 1945. Hiram R. Revels. He was born on September 27, 1827. He was a minister who became the first black man in the United States Senate, representing Mississippi as a Republican. Construction of the Golden Gate Bridge, around 1934. Spanish journalist Javier Baulus snapped a photo as an IDF soldier smiled and aimed a rifle at him. It was the first intifada in Nablus, Palestine, on January 31, 1988. Princess Margaret and Queen Elizabeth, Great Britain, the 1950s. The Colorado Cannibal. This is a picture of Alfred Packer during his trial. It was taken in 1886. There's a castle-shaped ice mountain and a dog team, September 17, 1911. A rowing machine from 1925. Eritrean children are standing on a Lenin monument in Eritrea in 1991. This is about Jinshan Temple, a Buddhist temple. It dates all the way back to the Shaoxing period, which was between 1131 and 1162. It's on an island in the Wulongjiang River in Fuzhou, Fujian, China. The year was 1871. The Belgian flag is lowered during the independence ceremonies in Kigali, Rwanda on July 1, 1962, ending Belgian rule in Africa. Einstein says to Robert Oppenheimer, "I've been working on my newest attempts to explain matter in terms of space." Miss Cigar Queen contestants, Los Angeles, 1937. Carolina Olsen was a Swedish woman born in the 19th century, and she supposedly slept continuously for an astonishing 32 years. It puzzled medical professionals and captivated the public. Pete Wetuck of the Meskwaki, 1898. Edward VII, 1909. There's a young soldier of the Austro-Hungarian army. He's standing on the Bridge of Sighs. It's a bridge connecting tunnels inside the Marmolada Glacier. This was in 1917. Elvis, his father Vernon, and his grandmother Minnie May in 1959. Jennifer Tilly as Tiffany Valentine, 1998. This is the first photo of Chernobyl on the morning of the nuclear disaster. It happened on April 26, 1986. David Bowie, the American musicians Paul Simon and Arthur Garfunkel, Yoko Ono, John Lennon, and Roberta Flack at the Grammy Awards, 1975. There's a woman at a communist march in London in 1928. A Buddhist priest is conducting a sermon in French Indochina, which is Saigon, Vietnam. This was around 1910. Customers are waiting for service at a meat counter during wartime. The sign says, "No ham, no bacon, no pork, no lamb." It was at Washington Market, New York City in 1941 to 1944. A school bus on the streets of Taiwan during the 1950s. Men of Action, May 1942, amusement park in Southington, Connecticut. November 30th, 1994. Brad Pitt and Jitka Polotek at the Legends of the Fall Beverly Hills premiere. So this is what a Japanese tram looked like after the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, right next to a restored version. Two boys are playing in a makeshift barrow in London in the 1890s. A lady asked the Beatles what the fuzz was all about during the famous Abbey Road photo shoot. This was in the late 1960s. Judy Garland is taking a break on the set of The Wizard of Oz in 1938. Liverpool Alleys and Passageways in 1907. It's a medical officer of health report, and they're measuring the width of the passageways. Moscow, 1951. There's a star on the spire. Ronald Reagan is wagging his hands and making faces at reporters. This is at a dinner for the White House News Photographers Association on May 19, 1983. A curious British schoolgirl watches the preliminary hearing of serial killer John George Hay, also known as the acid bath murderer, from a window ledge, London, 1949. Sean Connery and Harrison Ford on the set of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade in 1989. A woman, carrying a handgun from the French forces of the interior, tells a fellow resistance fighter about the liberation of Paris. The car has the Cross of Lorraine on it, which was a symbol of the Free French forces. It's August 26, 1944. Let's talk about the movie Metropolis from 1927. David Bowie is getting ready to perform in 1973. Eric Valance, from the Reserve Bank of New Zealand, is burning sterling banknotes. This happened on July 19, 1968. New Zealand had just switched to a decimal currency. They're playing dice for money. This is in a London wasteland in 1954. German prisoners of war are digging graves for their fallen comrades. American soldiers are watching them. This happened in Manche, Normandy, in July 1944. Rose McGowan at the 1998 MTV Video Music Awards. The Keeper of the Kremlin chimes, 1990. In 1959, police were called when 9-year-old Ron McNair, a black boy, refused to leave a segregated library in South Carolina. He later earned a PhD in physics from MIT and became an astronaut. Today, the library that once denied him books bears his name. The setting is from 1935. We're looking at linotype machines and the Anthony Hordern and Sons department store. The Hitachi K1100 portable TV from 1980. Nicholas II is with his son Alexei. A child is picking cotton. It's the 1940s in the USA. Arnold Schwarzenegger is posing at the Whitney Museum in 1976. This is a wire suit, and it was designed to measure body temperatures. This was while researchers were studying the physiological effects of high speed and space travel. It was made in 1960. Roller skating on Venice Beach in Los Angeles, 1979. (1982) Israeli siege of West Beirut. Photo by Catherine Leroy. Acrobat and aerialist Louisita Lears, also known as Martha Louisa Krokel, talked about her time with the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus in 1933. A peanut vendor wearing a peanut suit from around 1890. "53-year-old Charlie Chaplin and 18-year-old Una O'Neill. Their marriage turned out to be a long and happy one, and the family grew to 8 children. Albert Einstein is with Mrs. Valentine Bargman outside his home in Princeton, New Jersey on March 14, 1953. The main thing is training. Spanky from our gang and his dog. This is the United States of America in 1932. Hugh Hefner, the founder of Playboy, smokes a pipe in 1966. A vintage retro computer alien design from 1955 by Panalina. In 1990, action stars Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger were photographed waltzing together in Cannes, France. Muhammad Ali tries and fails to lift Johnny Coulon, the former bantamweight champion known as the Unliftable Man. Despite weighing just 110 pounds, Coulon baffled people with his clever trick of leverage and pressure points. This was in 1961 in Chicago. Alicia Silverstone at the 53rd Annual Golden Globe Awards on January 21, 1996 at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills, California. There are children at a puppet show. It's the 1940s. The Raleigh Safety 7 was a 3-wheeled vehicle. It was developed by the British company Raleigh Cycle Company in the 1930s. It's Pearl Harbor, an Italian poster from 1941. A girl and a Komodo dragon are at the London Zoo in the 1930s. Winter sunbathing cabins, Jan Fabricius Sanatorium, Sochi, 1982. coffee machine from 1947. Westminster students take a chemical warfare test, 1938. The Montreal Hockey Club won the first Stanley Cup in 1893. The light cruiser USS Santa Fe, designated CL-60, rolls heavily during Typhoon Cobra from the 18th to the 19th of December, 1944. Her forward 6-inch gun turret is trained to port to avoid shipping water through its gun ports. The USS Bunker Hill, that's CV-17, is burning. It happened after it was hit by 2 kamikazes off Okinawa on May 11, 1945. It would be the first of 3 U.S. flagships hit over 4 days. The ball turret gunner of B-17G Flying Fortress, serial number 43-38852, Humpty Dumpty, from the 351st Bombardment Squadron, 100th Bomb Group, is showing off flak damage just above his position. This happened in 1944. The Golden Gate Bridge under construction around 1935. Tippi Hedren, you know, from The Birds, and her husband, Noel Marshall, lived with their daughter, Melanie Griffith, and a 400-pound lion named Neil. It was 1971. Angelina Jolie, who was 10 years old, and her father, Jon Voight, were at the Oscars in 1986. Wilt Chamberlain and Michael Jordan, 1997. A service station attendant helps 2 boys get their football pumped up to pressure with air. This happened in Houston, USA, sometime around the 1940s. Michael Jordan, 1984. Colonel Sanders and Alice Cooper in Amsterdam, 1974. A road cleaner in Prague, 1920. Hungarians of Czechoslovakia welcome Hungarian soldiers with flowers after the first Vienna Award. That was in November 1938. A statue of Karl Marx was splattered with mud and paint after the fall of the Derg. This was in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, in 1991. Gia Karangi became one of the first models in the world to dare to do erotic photo shoots in the 1980s. It's Demi Moore in 1986. Anna Maria Benvenuti, Venice, 1951. Charlize Theron as Marilyn Monroe for Madame Figaro magazine, 1993. Audrey Hepburn with her Oscar for Roman Holiday in 1954, a moment of triumph. There's an autochrome of a Dahomey nobleman smoking a pipe with other men and some children. This was on the 18th of April, 1930. Cactus instead of a Christmas tree, Arizona, 1959. Dwight Gooden's being carried off the field after pitching a no-hitter during his 1996 comeback season. Coca-Cola was created by pharmacist John Pemberton from coca leaves and cola nuts. The drink was initially patented as a cure for nervous disorders and sold in pharmacies. Stop! Anyone who goes further will be shot. German soldiers during the Spartacus uprising in Berlin, January 1919. Soviet soldiers are laughing at the improvised shoes the Germans used to keep warm in harsh winter conditions. This took place in Stalingrad in February of 1943. Charlie Chaplin with his daughters, Josephine and Victoria, in 1966. Sade in Germany, 1986. A woman firefighter from the Achilles Serre Ladies Fire Brigade during a drill, London, England, 1926. It's a 1961 Buick Flamingo, and it has a front seat that rotates. Parcels are bound for the front line at an American Red Cross facility in Paris in July of 1918. Wounded when a mine blew up his Jeep, an ambulance driver sobbed by the side of the road after learning that a friend was killed in the blast, Korea, 1950. Theodore Roosevelt and his wife, Edith Roosevelt, sometime during the 1910s. Commercial aviation airports between 1905 and 1945. The one-armed blacksmith Patrick O'Neill, Tottenham, England, 1929. In 1957, Louis Armstrong spoke out against injustice when Governor Orville Faubus sent in the Arkansas National Guard to prevent 9 African-American school children from integrating Central High School. Jack is getting a Coca-Cola from a self-serving machine around 1952. It's a 1975 Peyton's knitting pattern, designed for a woman in a larger size.